Hello, mate.
Back again.
I thought this week we could talk about something that seems to have been affecting the community quite a lot recently.
COVID.
No. Sorry, what's COVID? I'm talking about Pokemon, mate, of course.
Vaccine soon, mate. Vaccine soon.
Yeah, if you believe all that shit, I don't know. Don't get me started, mate. Don't get me started. But yeah, so I want to talk about something that's been affecting everyone, and it's not COVID. It is scamming, mate. It's scamming.
Scams.
It's something that we've both been eviction. We've both been a victim of, not to obviously a high level, some people, but it's something that's affected both of us individually, but also it seems to be having quite a big effect on the Pokemon community as a whole. There's been quite a few high-profile cases. I thought we could talk about those, and then how it's going to change the hobby going forward.
So you, before these like big leaguers we get into, you obviously some time back bought some Charizards, and they didn't turn out to be Charizards at all, did they? Really? That was your first inkling into this.
Yeah, on Facebook Marketplace, I bought a. It was basically like a binder page full of Charizards. It was 9 Charizards from I think it was a Diamond and Platinum set. I forget the name. Speaking to this woman on Facebook, showed me
Too
all
good
the
to be
pictures
true.
and stuff. Well, the pictures were a little bit blurry, so I should have had my suspicions. And the price was pretty silly.
I mean,
and how does that old saying go? If
what
it's
old
too
saying?
good to be true, it probably is.
Oh, okay.
And that was the
Gotta
case,
catch 'em all?
I think. With
Oh,
it.
right.
Gotta catch 'em all. No, that's the old saying.
But yeah, I mean, see, in that case, to be honest, I'd never seen that Charizard before, so I didn't know what it looked like anyway. But obviously, if I saw a page of base set Charizards and the pictures are a little bit blurry,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, the thing is, like,
It was naive.
so one of the things actually. Oh, sorry. Before we move on, did you do the rip test on one of them just to like?
Yeah,
see
it was
what's
like
inside?
cardboard. It was
Yeah,
literally
shit.
like it wasn't. So you know how the same cardboard that they used to make cereal boxes.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
It was like that. As soon as I saw the card, you could tell the print was all funny, and as soon as you felt it, it was all like extra glossy, and then I teared it, and there was no black ink. It was just like a bit of flimsy cardboard from a cereal box. So
See, the experience
Yeah.
I've had is it's actually pretty scary actually because now I'm talking about individual cards now, not like packs and stuff, because I've never received a fake pack. I've not bought enough packs to receive a fake pack, but it's hard to put a date stamp on these sort of stuff because you can only go back as far as the date it was released, right? So like all of these Neo Genesis base set, like those type of fakes, I think I'm surprised that they fake the lower end cards more than anything, because like if you're a scammer, the idea is to make money of some sort, right? So I'm surprised that they go for in individual cards to fake lower end cards rather than the big hitters like Typhlosion and your Charizard, your Lugias and all that.
yeah.
Like there's a bit of thought behind it, isn't there, to sort of make it legitimate almost.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The problem is though, with the popularity that that Pokemon is now seeing as well, you're going to get more and more of these people that are seeing an opportunity here to sell fake product, and it's only going to get worse. I think it's only growing in popularity, so there's only going to be more scams. I mean, it's so hard to know as well. Like you said, you can do the rip test. But if it turns out to be real, then it's too late because you ripped it.
Well, no, that's the risk as well. That should be your last resort.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
So, some advice that I've now started to follow is, especially this is especially for eBay really. So I was quite easy going before. I was quite like, I was a few pictures. Yeah, it says near mint. Which is a very common phrase for people to use, and it means different things to different
it's got
people.
so many meanings.
So one is obviously try and find products which reflects your own meaning of what like they're sort of advertising. So if your definition of mint is perfect, no hollow scratches, no whitening, go for that sort of person who is also selling a product under that sort of thing, because if it's not your same standard, you won't have to worry as much. And the term near mint is so fluent with every single person on eBay. Like near mint, I've seen people advertise near mint, and the whitening is just constant throughout the entire card.
I've seen near mint. There's been a crease through the middle of the fucking card before.
Yeah, that's
a big like bend where it's been bent in half, and I've seen someone. Oh, it's near mint.
But there are other people who reflect near mint as we see it, which is
as near mint,
tiny, like yeah, literally, it is near mint, right? It's in the word, isn't it? But
yeah, exactly.
But the other thing I do now is when I'm looking at a seller on eBay and I'm determining whether I want to buy this card or not, I go whether the description is really fleshed out. It has to be really, really like detailed description of like every card. They have to have gone to the extra effort to make that decision and to talk about the card. But also, like, I don't do it unless they have like at least really clear pictures of the holographic, like maybe up to like 10 pictures. Like, I don't care if it'll probably mean that I do miss out on some genuine people who are just trying to sell cards, right? That the cards I'm after. But I'm not willing to spend, say, £50-60 on a card now, which it is for a basic holo anymore at these days, without knowing exactly what it looks like and what I'm buying. You have to be so careful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with eBay particularly, I would definitely agree that you want to try and buy from sellers that have got a decent bit of feedback. If you see an account that's brand new, that's got like 2 or 3 feedback, you know, it's not fair, but I would say stay clear, because, you know, they're not well established. You want someone that's got ideally 100% positive feedback, someone that's got maybe over 100 or 200 feedback, and that, you know, someone you can go on their profile, saying they've been a member of eBay for 5 years and they've not got any negative feedback, because you can trust those people. They're people that clearly care about their account.
Yeah,
so
and
that's something you could do.
And the thing is, like, the sort of hobby we're in, it's all about that trust. There is a trust element. It's not like you're going on to buy a jumper and you know you're going to get that jumper. You're never going to receive a fake jumper, are you? It's always going to be... So with cards, because of their value, and they are collector's items, and they are to people, they are valuable items. You know, like, it's part of a collection, and people give a shit, like, a big time, like, about their collections, right? So the last thing people want to do is get scammed, and with cards, it's particularly like rife, don't you think? It's like
yeah.
So I last just before we get into like the big subjects, but a few weeks ago I bought an energy card, and it cost me about £8. On the video I did on my mobile phone, I actually said £9, but it cost me £8, and something was off about it. Now,
what set was that from?
Neo Genesis. It's the only holographic energy.
The hollow one, okay.
Yeah, it's a metal energy card from Neo Genesis, and I couldn't tell from the pictures when I bought it that there was anything wrong with it. Okay, so obviously you're using your senses, aren't you? Right, your senses. Does it look? You know, but the one
to feel as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the one thing you can't do over eBay. You can't feel how the card feels, and it was something off. There just something was off. Like it was the yellow in was a little bit different as well compared to other Neo Genesis cards I had, because luckily I've got a large set of them, so it's like, okay, can I compare it to the borders of any other guy? And there was just something off about it, and I thought, right, okay, obviously I want to know that I've got genuine cards. I don't want to put a fake card in my binder and have a fake card. It's just not right. It wouldn't be right. So
of course.
So I ripped it. You know, I ripped it. I sacrificed the £8 I spent on it, ripped it, and it was obvious. Like the moment I sort of dedicated myself to the ripping of the card.
You couldn't even tear it at first, could you?
I knew. Yeah, I just knew I did the right thing, because this card was so hard to rip. It was just like, it was so bizarre. Like, I've done rip tests on like duplicates. I've got like Quagsires and stuff, and it's just like, there's a much more ease to it. And
poor Quagsire.
But the thing is, when I ripped it, after I did get through it, the whole card, instead of like ripping at first, it sort of creased into like the rip I was trying to make. It was really bizarre. It was so hard to rip, and as soon as I did, there was just like this flap of silver in, which I just knew that you could just peel off.
Yeah, that was like the hollow foil on the front that was like been ironed on or something like that.
Yeah, literally. And but the strange thing was there was this black line through it, but whether it was that or not, I don't know. But to be honest, with you, I knew it was fake. One, because of the rip test, and two, because this flappy hollow foil that just peeled off. And but I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like I said, I would be lying. I wasn't affected a little bit by it because I was a bit worried because I was like, it's only through doing more and more and more of this hobby that you begin to realise how easy it is to get scammed. Like, and do you know what? It's not even down to the seller, to be honest. I'm sure that some sellers don't even know they've got fake cards. Like, if I'm a seller, I'm not looking in as much detail as a collector is. The collector's looking at every single aspect of that card. You know, fucking hell, that's a grade 8 card I've got there. Whereas a seller's like, I just want to sell that card. You know, it's in a sleeve, it's protected. Just want to shift it. And they probably don't know.
Yeah,
some of
for
them.
sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, no, for sure. It's just it's so shit. I mean, something as well. Quite a lot of sales are starting to happen on Facebook groups and through Instagram and stuff. I've bought quite a few cards and bits off Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah,
and that's great because obviously you save money on the eBay fees. The only downside to that is that massive element of trust. So you have to make sure. The only bit of advice I would say with buying from kind of Facebook groups and Instagram, etc., I would say, first of all, try and get some references on the seller. And if you can't do that, I would say, for me, I always, if it's over 20 quid, I always pay with goods and services.
Yeah.
Because that way you've got the PayPal protection, and that has saved me once or twice. I learnt the hard way. I don't know if you remember, I bought the Game Boy Advance with the Pokemon game. There was a Game Boy Color with the Pokemon game about 2 years ago. I bought it through Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of doing a bank transfer because I'm a fucking retard. Of course, the guy blocked me. Never heard from him again. Facebook ignored my complaints, whatever, and I lost 60, 70 quid, whatever it was. I learnt the hard way. If I'd have paid through goods and services, PayPal, I would have been protected. PayPal would have refunded me. So, bit of advice, I'd say always pay goods and services if you can't afford to lose that money.
Do you know what I think is funny? Like, actually, it's not putting people down at all, right? But it's a lot of effort for like 70 quid. Do you know what I mean? Like, not from your end, but from their end. Like,
no, for sure. The thing is, though, we don't know how many people they're doing that to. There was something recently, one of the Instagram groups I'm a part of. This bloke got exposed because he'd been caught in the same day. He'd sold the same Charizard to like 12 people. They'd all sent him the money. All these people had got in touch with each other, chasing this bloke up through the posts. And it turned out, the bloke had sold them the same thing. And obviously he'd sold 12. And then he'd blocked everyone and closed his Instagram account and ran away with the money.
Yeah, scumbags, really, aren't they?
It's scumbags, mate.
But that's
it's only going to get worse.
That's definitely different from fakes, but I know what you mean. It's like it's just people not giving up their product, isn't it? Like,
that's full on stealing.
Yeah, it is.
That's full on stealing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's theft.
But they're using people's like love of the hobby to get at people.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have to invest in some money. Like, this hobby is expensive. There's no way about, there's no cheap option now. This hobby is expensive, so taking advantage of people's love for the hobby, it's just shattering to people, especially if that's a lot of money to people. Like, if that was like a big chunk of your wages, and you thought like, do you know what? I've done these savings. I'm just gonna dedicate myself to this card.
I'm gonna treat myself.
It's the last one I need in my set, and it's just shattering to people. Like, it's so shit. Like, this is the real dark side of this hobby, where it's just like, I don't know even now. Like, I'm as I've gone along in the journey, right, as we all have in collecting, there are probably cards which I overlooked completely back in the day, thinking they were fucking pristine. Look at this card, my god. And it's only as you go through, like you said, making mistakes and learning from these shitty experiences that you begin to realise, actually, that one's a bit dodgy. Actually, this one I'm not too sure about. It's only through doing the bad in it, really, which is a shame, because you do your quick learning through making mistakes, right? And it's just, sometimes it's a hard way to learn that there are just scumbags out there.
Yeah. So I think the biggest example to date that kind of put the internet into some kind of frenzy was the $375,000 first edition base set booster box. There was a channel, I think they're called The Dumb Money, something like that, and they got in touch with this bloke who's quite new to the scene called Collectible Guru. And there's a lot of bad feeling around this bloke at the minute already. A lot of people don't like him. You know, I don't know the guy. Not that he gives a fuck anyway, so I won't say how I feel about it, but he's got a bit of a reputation already. People are saying he's only in it for the money. So before this year, he was into cryptocurrency, and he's kind of fallen into Pokemon because he can see the money and the opportunities that are there. Anyway, he sourced this first edition base set booster box for this YouTube channel. They paid $375,000 for it. They've gone on a live stream, as you've seen. Obviously, they open it and it's fake. But what's really interesting is this Crypto King, Collector Guru, whatever you want to call him, he said, so in this meeting, in the video, he says to them, oh yeah, it's been in a sealed locker for like the last few years, at least 10 years, been untouched, you know, it's a piece of history, yada yada yada. They open it up. Some of the fake cars inside are from 2020. So it's like, hold on a minute, either you're lying or the person that sold it to you is lying. If someone here is lying, I think they've got, I think they got the second box, so they got what they paid for originally. So I think they replaced the box for them, but it's not the point. That's
they got a genuine box.
$500,000. Yeah, I think he sourced another one for them, but people are saying that he was probably hoping they wouldn't open it live on stream, and then
what an idiot!
Obviously, he could get away with that. But the thing is, it's unfair to say because we don't definitely know it's him. It's just there's a lot of shadiness going on with this bloke, and I guess that's one of the things I wanted to ask you is not the scamming side of it, but how do you feel about people that are getting into this for the money side? Like, does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but because
like people that couldn't give a fuck about Pokemon, essentially. Because before this year, this bloke didn't give a shit, and there's a lot of mixed feelings about people getting into this just for the money. Because then they might not have that same integrity that people like you and I might have, who have grown up with this. Is that a problem though?
So I don't see it as a problem because I feel like people in the hobby now who have been in it for a while, who genuinely love Pokemon, they love the games, they love the anime, whatever, like the cards. I feel like those people do know obviously way more than these sellers do. They're trying to get in for money, so it's obvious to someone when they're trying to make money because they're just racking up prices, right? And you might get the odd person who buys from them, but I feel like the Pokemon community itself does have its head screwed on. Like, especially if you're our age, like late 20s who grew up with the thing back in the day, you're going to know a lot more about these cards than these people who've got into it for 5 minutes. So you have that advantage of just knowing more. Like, we know what to look for. We know, like, what's rare, what's not. These people who are just making money, genuinely, if you try to get into something just purely to make money, you're not going to get very far. It's because you've got no, you've got nothing invested.
You've got that passion, I think, haven't you?
You've got nothing invested in it, personally. I think it's like that thing, when you create a business, you don't do it just for the money. You do it because you've got a passion for the business and you've got a passion to keep it going and stuff. It's not the same, I don't think, if you're just there to make money. Like, granted, there are decent people out there who probably do try and make a lot of money out of it, and they probably like Pokemon as well, but to be honest with you, I feel like the community itself, the only thing it is doing is probably making people with collections, that is making that value go up, I suppose, because
the value's gone up.
There is like a little bit of feedback. So people who obviously have a lot of money, not like on the average wage, I'm talking about people who are like multi-millionaires, people like that, they are helping to drive the market, as you keep saying to me, and it makes it interesting because it makes our value of the things we have higher. The downside is trying to buy cards to finish those sets is now harder. So you're spending more, but what you've got is worth more. So and that's due to these people who are obviously multimillionaires, but sellers just get into it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just feel like the integrity has to be there if you are going to do it. And Pokemon's very public at the moment. It's a very public event going on. Most of these like online streamers, they're getting out their old Pokemon cards because it's the thing to do now. and I never thought I'd say that, but it's like it's probably one of the most popular things to do, like live stream, get these boxes. My fucking god, 20-year-old Pokemon unboxing. Oh my god, like all these faces and stuff. It's like Pokemon's never been so popular. You know, with the exception of when it first came out, Pokemon has never been this popular in all its history. So it's like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think. I think we've briefly touched on it before. I think a big part of it is a lot of these people that kind of grew up with it. You're getting to the point in their lives now where they're coming into a bit of money, or they're stuck at home because of coronavirus, and they're reminiscing about their childhood and thinking about old times, and they're getting back into Pokemon through that. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I don't think it's an issue of some people getting into it just for the money, because, you know, it's, like you said, it's going to drive the prices up of the items we've already got, which is great. You know, and it's up to them. I've not got any issue with that. The only thing I would say is it does mean that I think people are going to have to toughen up and wise up.
For sure.
Like we've discussed.
Yeah, there's a steep learning curve that's needed for people who aren't as savvy as we are, I suppose.
So, yeah, I mean, one of the people that I trust, I don't know him, but one of the people I trust online the most is someone called PokeRev.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to talk about that Neo box. So last week, he opened the Neo box that he had in his collection. He paid $10,000 for a Japanese Neo booster box. Box looked really legit. Opened it up. Packs on top looked really legit. As soon as he started to open up, you know, the box, he realised that half of the packs were open. Started to look at the cards, and it turned out that some of the cards looked legit. Some of the cards looked a little bit off, but, you know, he carried on with the live stream. And done the rip test, and the same thing happened to those that happened to your Neo foil card. And once you looked closer, you could see the print lines were off. And now that's a really knowledgeable guy there who's just been duped.
Well, that's the thing, because when I first watched that video, I have to admit I thought it was just to get likes. I thought he was just going. It was because obviously before that there was that massive box you spoke about earlier, and I thought, oh, this is just a follow-on event that someone's trying to get more subscribers for, right? Oh my god, I've been scammed. Oh fuck, like watch my video, that sort of thing, right? That's what I thought was happening, and which is
that's what we should do.
To be honest, like I get it. People are trying to obviously get views and they make money from YouTube views, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like. But actually, the more I watched that video, the more it is, especially when he had people on who obviously paid money and he had refunds and stuff, and like. I realised quite clearly this guy's obviously quite a genuine guy. I have to admit, I was new to him, so. But what I found,
honestly, mate, he is decent. He's a really good guy.
What I found interesting was my first reaction when I saw the box opening was that it's fake, because obviously like the packs are open, so instant. It's like fucking hell, packs. But he's obviously, this is what I talk about experience, right? He's obviously experienced things in the past where age in Japanese, like I don't know anything about Japanese cards, to be honest. I know probably a little bit about English cards, but he's obviously experienced a lot with Japanese cards, because he didn't assume instantly that they were fake when they were open. So he
thought it was a factory error.
This is the thing. So he must have seen a lot of stuff in the past to say, actually, there is these occasions where it's genuine, and this happens, and this happens, and this, and it's like, for me, gut instinct was like, it's fake. Now, even though it was fake, I don't know anything about the packaging. I don't know anything about the holocrimp in Japan. I don't know anything about these packs, like colour-wise. So I'd be really open to that sort of scam. Whereas him, luckily, he's sort of his bread and butter is this opening. So I just found it interesting, and that's why I was talking about the sophistication of it, because to make these things takes a lot of time and effort. Like to make fake cards, I think is forgery. At the end of the day, it's like posting a fake check or something.
Of course,
you have to get everything spot on. There's a lot of detail on a Pokemon card. Okay, especially if it's Japanese, it's the text, it's the symbols, it's the lighting, it's the shading, it's everything. That's why I think it's scary, because the sophistication behind it, and you might think, oh, it's just photocopying, it's just two things, you stick it together. It's not that at all. If you're a collector, you are looking at every detail. Like, I don't care, like, if you purchase a card, you are going to be looking at that card. So the card has to be spot on. There's none of this like, oh, we just quickly stick 3 layers down together. It doesn't work that way. You're going to be caught out quickly like that. The sophistication behind it is scary.
Yeah, it is. There's a massive load right now of fake boosters circulating on eBay as well. And what people are doing is they're getting like the Fossil and Jungle empty packs, filling them with 11 random cards and resealing the pack, but they're making sure that the crimps on the packs haven't been damaged, so they can easily reseal them with like a press-in machine. And there's loads of them going on eBay. Loads of them going. There's people I know that have bought packs of eBay that turned out to be fake, and it's hard. It's hard to know what's real and what's not with some items. And the more money that comes into this hobby, the more popularity it gets, the worse it's going to get. People are going to learn new techniques, and if someone like PokeRev can be scammed, who's someone that, again, I don't know him, but it's someone that, you know, I trust his knowledge and opinion, and someone like him can be fooled, you know, what hope do people like, you know, us have?
I suppose the benefit is for us, and it's what you mentioned right at the
we haven't got that money to waste.
Exactly. It's literally what you mentioned right at the beginning of the podcast is we would be on the very low end of that scam. I mean, it's a scam nonetheless. 80 quid, it's a lot of money to someone, you know, but I suppose at least we can't invest that amount of money to be scammed with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least there's a benefit to sort of picking and choosing your cards rather than getting like I said, investing £250,000 on a base set. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least that sort of money isn't up for grabs by these scammers by a lot of people. It's you have to pick and choose your audience if you want to go for that high end value. You know, like, not everyone has 250 grand for a fucking Charizard first edition, whatever it is going for now.
It's
like,
mental.
So at least there is that. But yeah, it's such a shit situation.
Exactly.
But don't be disheartened, people listening, because Pokemon's there to stay. All right, we're all fans here.
Mate, it is withstood the test of time, and it will do for many years.
25th anniversary pack's coming out next year. Everyone's looking forward to that.
Yeah, next year's going to be a very big
2021.
year. I mean, yeah. So it's it's a really important point that you just raised. Actually, is there's a lot of negativity around, you know, the community now, and a lot of people are scared and don't want to spend the money. But put that aside, I think the community is thriving. You know, it's as popular as it's ever been. You know, I've been lucky enough to become part of, you know, a couple of really good communities on Instagram and through Facebook, and I've met some really cool people. So it's a great hobby, isn't it? It's a really, really fun hobby to be part of, and it's better than ever.
It is a good hobby, and like I said, I'd encourage anyone to get involved in it. Obviously, like, stick to your budget, be vigilant, control the virus, save lives. No, honestly, like, yeah, get involved. Don't be disheartened by these like shitty stories on YouTube. Like, they're few and far between, and most people have a great experience doing it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, mate. Well said. Talking to get involved, let us know what you think. This episode should be on YouTube very soon, hopefully. The YouTube subscribers are slowly growing. We've gone from 1 to 2 now, so that's good. The Spotify views are going up as well, which is great. Starting to see a tiny bit of traction. So get involved, people. Let us know what you think. There'll be a big giveaway coming soon as well. So watch this space.
Are they your Charizards by any chance?
Yeah, try and get rid of them, mate.